Hi friends, welcome to Electricity Market in India, your one-stop destination for your power sector queries. Today is a very interesting presentation where we will compare the various solar policies of the state. Many people have asked on to make a summary and uh, in a nutshell for normal users to understand the various solar policies across India. Now, since India is a federal structure of governance, each state has its own power ministry, and there is a central government which came out with a solar policy across the country with a target of making 175 gigawatt by 2022, out of which 100 gigawatt should come from solar, and out of that 100 gigawatt, around 40 gigawatt would be coming through rooftop and 60 gigawatt through ground mounted projects. But based on that, various states came out with their individual solar policies, and in this presentation today we will see how these solar policies are in toto, and what are the various incentives going for solar in these states for the CNI customers, which are the commercial and industrial customers. And I will also touch upon what are the benefits for the rooftop consumers in some specific states. So stay tuned to this presentation, and let's begin this. So I've divided India into four zones: north, east, south, and west. So among the northern states, if you see on the topmost is I've taken Uttar Pradesh. In Uttar Pradesh, UP came out with its solar policy in 2017, and then they came out with this banking regulation in 2018. So those who don't know what is banking, banking means if you are producing power in the morning, the industries can consume that power over the entire 24 hours. Since solar is only available in the morning time, that is from 6 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. in the evening, that is 12 hours, but industries run for entire 24 hours. So there is a provision of banking of this unused power in the morning to be used in the night. So this banking regulation is not there in all the states, but for we will see which states have. UP came out with that in 2018, and they came out with a policy in 2017. Earlier also UP had solar policy in place in which came in the year 2012, but that didn't have much incentive to go for solar, and there was no central guidelines and target given. But since we had the central government formed in 2014, then they have a centralized target given to all the states, and now based on that UP came out with its own solar policy in 2017. So basically, they are asking for 6.4 gigawatt of projects to come from, which is like 6,400 megawatt of project, which should come from utility scale projects plus open access projects. So utility scale projects are those projects where the power would be consumed by the state government, and open access projects are those where the power would be consumed by the commercial and industries, CNI segment. So they are giving three incentive if any industry wants to go for open access in the state of UP. First is the charges of wheeling, which is distribution charges and transmission charges, would be 50% from the normal rate. So if any industry is consuming thermal power or power exchange power, and they are paying, for example, 60 paisa, then if they are consuming solar power, they will be only pay 30 paisa. Also, there is a 50% waiver on the transmission charges. Also, electricity duty is exempted for the consumers who are consuming solar power for 10 years. The banking is allowed for 19 hours. It is not allowed in the peak hour of evening 5 to 10 p.m. So for that 5 hours period, banking is not allowed. Apart from that, the policy period is of 10 years, and this policy will come to an end by 2032. So ideally, they have given a 5 years window period to commission the projects. So projects should come up by 2022, and those projects which come up by 2022 will enjoy these incentives for the next 10 years. Also, they have some additional benefit like They are giving special land areas in the Bundelkhand region, where if you put up your project, the state government will help you in getting the land as per the solar policy. You don't also have to pay the stamp duty and other surcharges. They also have incentive for industries who are going to be going to set up the manufacturers who wants to set up industries for solar products in the state of UP are given some additional incentive. So these all are there in the UP solar policy. For domestic consumers, uh, there is mention of net metering and solar rooftop would be given preference. The nodal body for UP solar policy is UP NEDA, and this is in Lucknow, which is Uttar Pradesh New Energy Renewable Development Agency. Now coming on to Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand, as we know, is a state basically at the northern part of Uttar Pradesh. It was earlier. It is mostly hilly areas. There the chances of solar projects are less because the flat areas are less, but still they have a solar policy which last came out in the year 2013. There is not much incentive, but they have waived off cross subsidy surcharge for the third party sale of power. If anyone is consuming solar power in that state, they don't have to pay the cross subsidy surcharge. The policy period is not mentioned in the policy, and this is not very viable in the state of Uttarakhand, because in normal case the discom tariff is pretty less, so there is not much incentive to go for solar open access if any industry wants to go in the state of Uttarakhand. Moving on to Haryana, they came out with a solar policy in 2016, and they have a plan to uh, build a 500 megawatt project first, and recently they have actually got application of more than 2000 megawatt, where the developers wants to put up more than 2 gigawatt of projects in the state of solar Haryana. So Haryana first came out with a solar policy in 2016, where they gave beautiful incentive to put up project in Haryana, and for the CNI consumers all the charges and losses were waived off. But then suddenly they changed, they took out all the incentive, and they came out with a government order that the policy incentives are scrapped, and now only those solar projects which are under captive route. So anyone who wants to know about what is the difference between third party open access and captive, I will request you to go through my earlier videos in the channel, and those who are taking this class on the web-based platform, I have already covered the difference of captive and third party in this course. For those industries, in any case, cross subsidy surcharge is not applicable. Additional surcharge may be applicable or may not be applicable, but they said that those projects which are coming up under Haryana solar policy, additional surcharge will not be applicable. And then suddenly they came out with another government order which said that only those in solar developers who have invested more than 1 crore of their 1 crore of investment is already made, only they will be allowed to put up projects. So there were a lot of confusion in the state regarding the solar policy, and still now, I'm making this video in the month of April 2020, there is no clear guidelines on which projects are coming up and what are the actual benefits in Haryana if anyone wants to put up the solar project. Moving on to Himachal Pradesh, they have a solar policy which came out in 2016. There is no incentive for any industry if they want to go for open access. Also, it is not viable also to go for open access in the state of Himachal Pradesh. Reason being, the state is surplus with hydropower. It's a power surplus state, and the discom tariff in the morning time slot is very cheap. So there is no meaning of putting up any projects in Himachal Pradesh as on date. Rajasthan came out recently with a solar policy in 2019, and it is a good policy, and they are giving an incentive for industries to avail open access for 7 years. So no cross subsidy surcharge will be applicable for industries which are taking power under third party as per the solar policy. And also they are given an incentive of 50% waiver of distribution and transmission charges if they take power from under open access from solar power. There is a fees of around 2 lakhs per megawatt needs to be paid by the developer to the state government under this policy as an incentive. There are some incentives for rooftop projects also. These all policies are available in Google, and those who wants to go in details can have a look into them. And if you have any doubt, you can write in the comment box. Moving on to the eastern part, Bihar came out with a solar policy in 2017. It's a very good solar policy. They have given 100% exemption on wheeling and transmission charge losses, cross subsidy surcharge and ED. And also they came out with a banking regulation in 2018 which gives 24 hours of banking. Only problem with this policy is that it ends in 2022 and there is no clarity what will happen after 2022, whether these incentives will continue or not. They aims to achieve 2,900 megawatt of projects through utility and open access projects in the state. They also allow net metering for solar rooftop. So it's a very progressive policy which they have made, just like Karnataka solar policy which expired in 2018. But what I feel is that if the policy period had been 10 years, then it would have made sense, because no solar developer would make an investment for 5 years kind of timeline. So this goes with Bihar. Odisha has a solar policy of 2016. Electricity duties exempted for industries which take power from solar developers or solar power. One drawback of this policy is that banking of power is not available. So what it means is only industries can take power in the morning period from 6 to 6, and whatever power will be produced, they have to consume it, otherwise it will go waste. This policy will end in the year 2022. Unfortunately, West Bengal don't have any solar policy, and there are many industries in West Bengal which have actually inquired for solar open access power, but currently they don't have any policy, and neither they are promoting any solar open access in that state. However, there is a rooftop policy where residential customer, three-phase residential consumers or industries can take solar rooftop in West Bengal. Moving on to the western part, Gujarat came out with a solar policy 2015. They are giving some incentives like cross subsidy surcharge, additional surcharge are exempted for captive power plants, and 50% charges would be applicable for third party. Wheeling charge 50% is exempted. Electricity duty is 100% exempted to all CNI consumers if they are availing power through open access, through solar open access. This policy period ends in 2020, and after that new policy will come. One drawback of this policy is that they are only currently allowing 50% of the contract demand to go for open access. What it means is, if a industry has a contract demand of say 10 megawatt, they can only take solar to 5 megawatt. One more point is that Gujarat also has a very good hybrid policy where you can combine solar and wind, which came in 2018. So those who are interested can also Google and go through the hybrid policy of Gujarat. So moving on to Maharashtra, this is again a very tricky state. It came out with a solar policy in 2015. In this, it is clearly mentioned that the cross subsidy surcharge, additional surcharge and ED is waived off in CPP and GCPP, which is captive power plant and group captive power project. And also there is no capping on contract demand. However, few days back they came out with a new judgment that additional surcharge will be applicable on captive power projects also. Presently, long-term open access is also not given for industrial consumers, but now, and they were giving medium-term open access, but now slowly they have also started giving long-term open access. Third-party solar open access is not viable presently because of high cross-subsidy surcharge and additional surcharge in the state. Now we move to the southern part. Karnataka had a very beautiful solar policy which ended in 2018, where they had exempted all kind of transmission, distribution and CSS charges, but now they came out with a new solar policy which is a policy period is till 2021, where they have CSS waived off only for CPP and GCPP project. What it means is all the charges are and losses are applicable if you are going for a third party or captive project in the state of Karnataka. Also, BESCOM, which is one of the DISCOM of Karnataka, they have 6 DISCOMs in total, is not issuing NOC for renewable open access at present. In South Tamil Nadu, they came out with a solar policy in 2019. It's not a great solar policy. They are only giving a 50% CSS exemption for RE power and 100% exemption on CPP. This is in anyhow done in all the states. Electricity tax is exempted for 2 years, and there are some issues with the deviation settlement mechanism with solar power presently. Andhra Pradesh came out with solar policy 2018. They have energy banking available, but they have no incentive if anyone is availing power inside their state. They are giving some incentive on STU charges for ISTS, means intrastate sale through CTU is free, 25 years long-term open access for intrastate. CSS additional surcharge is not applicable for CPP, GCPP. Banking is allowed with 5% of banking charge, but now presently they are only doing monthly reconciliation of banking, and I am not very sure about the permissions presently whether Andhra Pradesh is giving or not. That needs to be checked. The policy period ends in 2023. So friends, I hope you like this presentation. If yes, then kindly give a thumbs up and give good rating, and give me your doubts in the comment box. And those who are new, kindly subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends. Thank you.